Hi guys, it's Carolyn with Crafting with Wine, and I'm wanting to share a scrapbook page layout, and this is a single page layout. It is 12 by 12, and what I am doing this year is doing a monthly scrapbook page. I'll do a lot more in between, but these are completely designed to be put in an annual album. Oh my goodness, I lost my word. I'll call that part-timers. to go into an annual album that is done by the month, and this one is going to be titled January. And most months will have their own page, but some of the months will share a two-page layout so that it works cohesively in the scrapbook album. So, and all of my main designs are going to come from one company or SVG designer, and it is Scrapping Bug Designs. Now, when you look in the description box below on all of these videos, I will list the link for that particular file, and I will go over all of the images that I've used, the size that I've cut them at, and then some of the products that I used. So be sure to open up that description box below, because you'll be able to get all of those products that I've used as well from Amazon, and I'll leave my affiliate link below to Amazon to my favorite crafty things. And does it cost you any more or anything of that nature? If you just happen to use my link, I get a little bit of a very small commission. So I would really appreciate it if you use my link. So without further ado, let's get started. I've got this pretty bright blue, almost Tiffany color blue of cardstock. That's 12 by 12. I've inked around all of the edges, and today I've only used one ink color, and I excuse the grubbiness of the top of my ink pad because I've used it a lot and it's gotten pretty disgusting looking, but it's the Memento Gray Flannel ink, and I use the ink blending tool that I get from Ranger. From that, and I actually buy those on Amazon, those ink blending tools, because they're cheaper, because I get more. And then my next image is a Scalloped Square that I actually got out of Cricut Design Space, and it comes from the Cricut cartridge, Mini Monograms. This was actual 4 layers, I believe. And I ungrouped it, did away with all the layers except for the background layer, which is what I used because it had more defined scallops that were larger, and that's what I wanted. And I have cut this at 11.5 by 11.3. And what I did was just use the 11.5 wide and then let it automatically adjust the height. So, and that's what I've did, and that's what the sizes came out to be. And I've also inked around this in that Memento Gray Flannel ink. Now I'm going to use my ATG gun, and I am going to lay this down on my page. This will obviously be the first page in my scrapbook album. And then I'll do my February layout in February, and so on and so forth. Now I'm going to line this up to the best of my abilities, which is right about there. And I think that looks good. Looks really good, actually. Now, my next thing that I'm going to lay down is my photo mat. And this is also a Cricut Design Space image. It comes as a single layer, and it comes from the cartridge. Excuse me, the first few years. I cut the blue layer that I also inked around in that gray Memento ink at 4.5 by 4.5, and then I duplicated it, and then for the gray layer I decreased the size by 1/4 inch, so it's 4.25 by 4.25, and I also inked around it in the gray layer, so I had a double mat, and then it'll hold a 4 by 4 photo. So when you get ready to put a photo on it, you need to round some corners and stuff so that it'll fit in here and look a little prettier, or you can cut the photo at 3 3/4 by 3 3/4 and it'll fit in there just beautiful, but I would still recommend rounding the corners so it will look very cohesive. So again, I'm going to use my ATG gun and put some adhesive on here and lay it down. And I'm going to put it up in the top right hand corner here, like so. Now, the next image that I want to lay down is a snowflake that I have paper pieced together and inked around, and then I put a little sequin silver snowflake that I've glued to the center. And those little silver snowflakes I have from Wow, in this bottle of Wow snowflakes, and I got tons of them in there, and I believe, I'm not for sure, but I think these are from American Crafts, not 100% sure, and I either got these from Peachy Cheap or from scrapbook.com. So, and I'm sure you can probably find something very similar at any of your local craft stores or Tuesday mornings maybe. And so that's what I put into the center of these little snowflakes to make them pop and sparkly. And now this is my medium snowflake, and I have got it cut at 3.18 by 3.11, and this image comes from Scrapping Bug Designs, and it comes from my main image that you'll see shortly. And all I did was take the snowflakes, captured the snowflakes from the SVG file that I purchased and resized it to my liking. And I'm just going to put some ATG gun adhesive on the back of this, and then I am going to lay it down. I'm going to tuck it right under my photo mat a little bit, right there. Now I have another snowflake that I've done exactly the same way, and I'm going to pop some adhesive on this. My ATG gun's quite squeaky, so I apologized for that. And I'm going to pop it right down here. Excuse me. And then I have a smaller version of that snowflake, and my smaller version is cut at 2.20 by 2.15. I'm going to pop some adhesive on the back of this one as well. And I'm going to put it right down here. Now, my next image I cut all together, and it's these giant snowflakes that I've got done. And then my little bear with his cute little earmuffs on, and he's popping out of a cake. And I think he turned out so cute. And I even put googly eyes on his eyes. And then for his little muzzle, I used mulberry paper. And he's turned out really cute. And then I used Wink Estella on his earmuffs and his scarf. Now, I cut him all together with those large snowflakes and him, and my title January was all cut together. And when I cut it all together, I cut it at 7.94 by 8.03, and when I sized it in Design Space to cut it and determining my size, I put everything together the way that you're going to see it on my layout is how I did the design, and that's how I came up with the sizing as well. So wanted you to be aware of that. So what I'm going to do next is lay down my large snowflakes. That one there. And again, everything has been inked around. I inked around every image except for my bear. And I'd already put my bear together before I decided what I was going to do, and had already inked everything, and my bear was already together, so I couldn't ink around him, obviously, once he was already together. So, and I have my little bear popped up on Fun Foam, and this is the Fun Foam that you get at the Dollar Trees or dollar stores, and it has adhesive on one side and then foam on the back. So I'm just going to use my favorite wet glue, which is Ranger Multi-Medium Matte, and I'm just going to put glue on here and pop him into place because I wanted him to stand out a little bit. Okay, I'm running out of glue on that bottle, so let me grab another. Okay, looks good. And I'm going to pop him right about there. And I did pop up his little earmuffs on foam tape as well. So let me give him a second to dry. And you can see that he's popping off the page with that little bit of Fun Foam. And then I do have another small snowflake that I think I'll place on my page as well. Yep, I'm going to put that down as well. And I'm just going to go ahead and use wet glue again. And I'm going to pop him right about there. Okay, and then my title January, I've inked around and I have it popped up on foam tape. So let me pull the backing off of that. Excuse me, I'm getting a tickle in my throat. And I'm going to put January right here. So it even pops up off the bear that is already popped up as well. And then I have pulled out some of these little shimmer shiny wow snowflakes that I am going to scatter around my page as well. So I'm just going to pop down some drops of glue. Okay, that's my empty glue. So let me get that out of the way. Pull in my full bottle of glue. So let's start with there. Now I'm going to use my crystal katana to pick these up. And if you don't know about the crystal katana, you need to, because it is an amazing craft tool, and you'll be able to find that definitely on the Amazon link that I'm going to leave in the description box below. It's a lifesaver. And I think that looks very nice. And those little sprinkles of those snowflakes that are all sparkly and beautiful really gives it just a little bit of added dimension and texture, and I'm very happy with it. So I hope you like this video, and I hope you're going to like this series that'll probably last, I think, for about 10 months, because I've got a couple of the months coming that will be duplicates on one layout, or one two-page layout is what I'm trying to say. So thanks for spending a little time with me. I certainly appreciate it. Cheers!